Welcome to Truthful Manipulation. In a world where truth is bent, facts are framed, and influence is too often used without conscience, this podcast stands for something different. I'm Dave Kelsey, along with H. Daniel Mujahid, and together we expose manipulation, defend integrity, and help you see clearly in a world determined to confuse you. Welcome back to Truthful Manipulation Podcast, where we tell the truth, keep our humor, and try not to throw the whole country into a group text argument before lunch.
My grandson would say, "It's too late."
Already?
Somebody somewhere is typing in all caps right now.
That's fair.
And they are not using punctuation either.
That hurts more than all the caps.
Today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is called What Happens When the Handlers Can't Handle the Handled?
That title sounds like a political warning label.
Yeah, it sounds like a campaign documentary, a celebrity scandal, and a daycare incident report all at once.
Dear parent, today your child refused to follow instructions, reorganized the snack table, declared himself king, and convinced 3 other children to follow him.
That's not daycare.
No.
Man, that sounds like a leadership retreat to me, Dave.
Same juice boxes.
Yeah, different damage.
Today we're talking about what happens when powerful people, political advisors, donors, public relations teams, media machines, corporate boards, lawyers, agents, and professional excuse makers build someone up only to discover they can't control the person anymore.
Yeah, that sounds like that original garden snake that, we had in the writings, and then you look up and, man, that thing, it's become a monster, Some people gave that monster a microphone, a hat, and a cell phone. They taught that monster that applause was food, better even than a burger, And then they act shocked when the monster eats the furniture, even the signs.
Yeah, that's the episode.
Good night, everybody.
No. We need 30 to 35 minutes.
Fine. I'll just add sarcasm.
Respectful sarcasm?
Yeah, that's called commentary.
Let's start with the basic question. What's a handler? A handler is someone behind the scenes who manages another person's image, message, public behavior, reputation, crisis response, and consequences.
In other words, the person standing 5 feet away whispering, "Please don't say that."
Exactly.
And then the person says it louder.
Usually into a microphone.
Always into a microphone.
Handlers can be political advisors, public relations teams, campaign managers, corporate boards, lawyers, agents, consultants, donors, sponsors, media executives, family members, or that one friend who says, "Don't worry, I can talk to him."
I thought you were just going to talk about the religious community. Good. Everybody's into this thing. Well, I could say that friend there, though, is lying.
Always.
Always. The minute somebody says, "I can control him," that's proof they can't control him.
That may be true.
No one who can actually control a situation has to announce it like they're selling patio furniture.
Handlers exist because public people need guidance. Politicians need handlers. Celebrities need handlers. CEOs need handlers. Athletes need handlers. Influencers need handlers.
Influencers need handlers. Babysitters, librarians, therapists. And one grandmother with a wooden spoon, too, will help out.
That's a full staff.
And maybe still not enough.
The handler's job is to keep the person on message.
Which means keep them away from microphones, cameras, social media, unscripted questions, live audiences, emotional impulses, and phones after midnight.
Yeah, that seems difficult.
That's why they get paid, Dave.
Handlers shape the story. They tell the person what to say, what not to say, when to smile, when to wave, when to apologize, when to deny, when to look serious, when to look compassionate, and most importantly, when to stop talking.
Yeah, that's the hardest one right there.
Yeah, always.
Because the handled person usually thinks silence is weakness.
And sometimes silence is wisdom.
Sometimes silence is the only thing standing between you and a subpoena.
That too. The big problem begins when the handlers stop managing the person and start depending on the person.
Woo, there it is, we used to say. That's when the wheels start wobbling.
At first, the handlers say, this person connects with people. This person has energy. This person gets attention. This person says what others are afraid to say.
Translation? This person is unstable but profitable.
And then the person gets popular. The crowd reacts. The ratings go up. The money comes in. Donations arrive. The merchandise sells. The audience starts chanting.
And suddenly, the handler is not handling anymore.
No.
They are hostage with a headset.
The handled becomes the brand. And once the handled becomes the brand, everyone around that person starts making excuses.
Oh, he's just being passionate.
She's just authentic.
Well, he tells it like it is.
She disrupts the system.
He doesn't have to follow the rules.
And sometimes people celebrate that.
Until the rules he doesn't follow are the ones protecting everybody else.
That's the turn.
Exactly. Rule breaking looks bold when it is aimed at your opponents. Then it looks terrifying when it turns around and aims at you.
Handlers often believe that they can use someone's ego, anger, charisma, fame, celebrity, frustration, and unpredictability for a purpose.
We'll just use this wildfire to roast marshmallows.
Good visual.
Bad fire plan.
They think they can control the flame.
Then the flame gets a podcast.
And a fan base.
And a legal defense fund.
And a hat.
Always a hat.
The danger is the handled person realizes something very important.
What's that, Dave?
They realize everybody else needs them.
Yeah, I guess, and that's when that's when the leash becomes jewelry.
Explain that.
Well, at first, the handlers think that the leash is control. Then the handled realizes the leash proves everyone is attached to him. Then he starts dragging them down the street while they yell. This is all part of the strategy.
That's painfully accurate.
Painfully accurate is my lane.
I think there are 3 stages when handlers lose control of the handled.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Stage 1. This is good for us.
Correct.
Stage 2. This is getting complicated.
Correct.
Stage 3. Who gave him the flamethrower?
Exactly.
I nailed it?
Stage 1 is opportunity. The handler sees someone who brings attention. Maybe that person is funny, outrageous, rebellious, angry, dramatic, charming, unpredictable, or fearless.
Unpredictable is the polite word.
What's the Daniel word?
I'd say a roaming liability.
That's less polite.
Yeah, but it's more accurate.
Stage 1 is when everybody says, this person is useful.
Useful is a dangerous word when applied to a human being.
Why is that?
Because once you call somebody useful, you stop asking if they're wise.
That's good.
Yes, indeed, of course.
Stage 2 is rationalization. That's when the handlers start saying, yes, that was bad, but...
And nothing honest ever comes after, yes, that was bad, but...
Yes, he said that, but the crowd loved it. Yes, she went too far, but the numbers are up. Yes, it was irresponsible, but it energized the base. Yes, it was cruel, but it got attention.
That's when ethics get pushed into the trunk.
Stage 3's panic.
Stage 3 is when the handled realizes the handlers need him more than he needs them.
That's the power shift right there.
That's when the tail starts wagging the dog. The leash starts pulling the owner, and the babysitter starts asking the toddler for permission.
That's quite an image.
It's a complete collapse with snacks.
And the public sees it.
Yeah, everybody sees it.
But supporters may deny it.
Supporters can deny a house is on fire, Dave, while standing in the living room holding a smeltering marshmallow.
That may be one of the best lines.
I'm warming up with you, champ.
Let's talk about why handlers overestimate their ability to control people.
Ego?
That's 1.
Money?
That's 2.
Fear?
That's 3.
And maybe 4, because people in power confuse access with influence.
That's important.
Just because someone takes your call doesn't mean they respect your advice.
Can you say that again?
Just because someone takes your call, it doesn't mean they respect your advice.
That's the handler's illusion.
I agree. They say, I talked to him last night. So what? I talk to my smoke detector when it beeps. That doesn't mean that either one of us has a strategy.
Handlers confuse proximity with control.
They stand next to power and think they possess it.
But they don't.
Nope. They're just close enough to get blamed when it explodes.
That's true in politics, business, entertainment, sports, religion, media, and even families.
I'd say even, especially families, Dave. Every family has one person everybody claims they can calm down.
And can they?
Nope. They just move the argument to another room.
In business, a board may think it controls the CEO because it hired the CEO.
Yeah, then the CEO becomes the face of the company. The stock moves when he sneezes. And suddenly the board is hiding in a conference room eating cold bagels.
In politics, the campaign thinks it controls a candidate because they wrote the talking points.
Then the candidate goes off script for 45 minutes and invents 3 new enemies, 2 policies, and a conspiracy involving windmills.
In sports, an organization thinks it controls a superstar because there's a contract.
Yeah, then the superstar realizes the arena is full because of him or her, and the owner starts saying things like, we support her journey. We support his journey.
That means they're terrified.
Absolutely. We support her journey means nobody knows where he is or where she is.
This portion of the Truthful Manipulation podcast is brought to you by the phrase, I'm sure we can control him.
No, you can't.
Have you ever looked at a reckless person and thought, what this situation needs is more power, less accountability, and a public performance?
If so, congratulations. You may already work in public relations.
Try our new product, Accountability Plus, for organizations that waited too long to tell the truth.
Each bottle contains humility, common sense, and a tiny mirror that screams, "You knew better."
Side effects may include fewer scandals, better sleep, fewer emergency meetings, and no longer having to say that statement was taken out of context.
Warning, warning, breaking news. Do not use Accountability Plus if your entire strategy depends on denial, distraction, and one guy yelling on cable news.
Truthful manipulation, helping you spot the lie before the lie gets a motorcade. And now back to this week's episode. One of the biggest turning points is when the handled person learns the handler's game.
That sounds like the disaster point, Dave.
At first, the handlers are teaching. They teach the person how to spin, how to distract, how to redirect, how to avoid responsibility, how to attack critics, how to use emotion, how to frame the story, and how to say nothing with confidence.
Now, that last one, it comes with probably a graduate degree, eh?
But over time, the handled person learns.
Of course they learn. You handed them the playbook, the microphone, the applause meter, and the emergency escape phrase. That's not what I meant.
Then they start using these tactics independently.
And eventually against the handlers.
Exactly.
That's when the student becomes the headache.
The handled learns that outrage works.
So they create more outrage.
They learn that denial works.
So they deny everything, including the lunch menu.
They learn that attacking the messenger works.
So everybody becomes the messenger.
They learn the crowd enjoys conflict.
So they become a walking bonfire.
They learn that apologies can be delayed, softened, outsourced, or avoided.
Outsourced. Apology is my favorite one. My team regrets that feelings were experienced.
That's painfully accurate.
Yeah, that's not an apology. That's a napkin with legal perfume.
Once the handled person understands that consequences can be managed, they stop fearing consequences.
Yeah, that's the point of moral collapse.
Right.
When people stop fearing consequences, they don't become free. They become dangerous.
Because accountability is part of human structure.
Yes, indeed. Accountability is the guardrail. Without it, ego drives like it stole a car and the keys.
There's another piece here, the public.
The public always gets invited late and charged twice.
The handled person often builds a direct relationship with the audience.
That's when handlers lose sleep.
Because the person no longer needs traditional gatekeepers.
Social media changed everything.
Yes, it did.
Before, handlers could just say, "Don't do that interview." Now the handler can roll out of bed, grab a phone, and create a national incident before coffee, locks, or tea.
That's true.
You ever notice how many crises begin with one person alone with a phone?
Too many.
In terms of war, human history used to require ships, armies, printing presses, horses, and months of planning. Now all a bad moron needs is a Wi-Fi and a poor impulse control.
That's the modern age.
Congratulations, civilization. We made the town square portable and emotionally unstable.
The direct audience relationship creates a new problem. The handled person can go around the handlers.
And even blame the handlers.
Yes, they will.
They don't want me to tell you the truth.
That phrase is powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. Sometimes it means somebody is brave. Sometimes it means somebody skipped the briefing and just wants some applause.
The audience may believe the handled person is authentic because they are uncontrolled.
Yeah, but that's authenticity trap 3.0.
Explain that?
People confuse unfiltered with honest.
That's very good.
Unfiltered is not the same as honest. A sewer is unfiltered. It doesn't mean that you should drink it from it.
Ooh, that's a strong image.
Accurate an image.
The public often says, I like the person because nobody controls them.
Fine. But here's the real question. If nobody controls you, do you control you?
That's the question.
That's the whole show, champ.
Let's give people a practical list. How do you know when handlers are losing control of the handled?
Number one, the cleanup takes longer than the original mistake. Eggs cost more. Gas costs more. Even Uber, Lyft costs more. Even going to get a Coke costs more.
That's a major sign.
If the person talks for 6 minutes and the explanation lasts 6 weeks, we got a problem, America.
Number 2, the handlers start redefining obvious behaviors.
Yep. He wasn't angry. He was passionate. She wasn't lying. She was exploring the alternative facts of clarity. He didn't insult anyone. He created emotional contrast.
Alternative clarity?
I should charge for this, Dave.
Yeah. Number 3, the handled person starts contradicting the official message.
Yeah, that's when you see the spokesperson aging in real time.
The spokesperson says one thing at noon, and then by 2 o'clock, the person they represent has completely destroyed it.
Yeah, that spokesperson goes from 38 to 74 before dinner.
Number 4, allies stop defending the behavior and start attacking the question.
Yeah, that's the classic case there, Dave.
Instead of answering, was that wrong, they say, why are you asking?
Because it was wrong, Harold. That's why.
Number 5, people close to the handle start speaking in code.
Oh, yeah, esoteric language, sign language even.
They say things like, he's evolving, she's processing, we're having internal conversations, we remain committed to the mission. There's a lot of energy right now.
Energy is a beautiful word. It can mean enthusiasm, chaos, screaming, or someone threw a chair.
That's true.
Now, when an organization says there's a lot of energy, somebody better check the furniture.
Yeah, I've been in meetings like those. The warning signs matter because they show when management has become damage control.
Yep. And damage control is not leadership.
Nope.
Damage control is leadership's bill arriving late with interest, pre-approved, and with billing surcharge add-ons. This portion of the show is brought to you by self-control.
Self-control, the ancient technology that prevents you from turning every thought into evidence.
Available wherever adults are still trying.
Self-control helps you pause before speaking, think before posting, and avoid starting a sentence with, everybody's going to be mad, but...
Warning, your ego may resist self-control. That's because your ego enjoys fireworks, applause, and bad decisions with thematic music.
Side effects may include better judgment, fewer apologies, stronger relationships, less drama, and not posting at 2:17 in the morning.
Ask your conscience if self-control is right for you.
Your ego will say,
ignore it. And now back to the show.
here's the uncomfortable question. Why do people keep protecting somebody they can no longer control?
Because they're invested
Financially,
emotionally, reputationally, politically, socially. Pick a pocket.
once people attach themselves to a person, admitting that person is dangerous feels like admitting they were foolish.
And people hate admitting they were fooled, foolish or wrong.
Yes, that's true.
They would rather build cathedrals around the mistakes.
That's a line.
It's true. People don't just defend bad choices, they decorate them.
They create reasons.
They create slogans.
They create enemies.
They create merchandise.
They create a whole story around their refusal to say, we were wrong.
And that's how manipulation survives.
Because people protect the story.
I've seen that. The story becomes more important than the truth.
The handler's identity becomes tied to the handled person's success.
So if the handled person fails, the handler has to face their own role in building the mess.
And that's painful.
Good, it should be.
Daniel.
No, I mean it. Some pain is useful. Guilt can be a moral smoke alarm.
That's true.
The problem is people keep taking the batteries out.
They don't want to hear the alarm.
Then the house burns down and they say, we had no warning.
But they did.
They had 1,000 warnings. They called them distractions.
This whole topic reminds me of Frankenstein.
You mean the monster?
Well, technically, Frankenstein was the doctor.
I know this. I just wanted to give literature people something to complain about.
The point is, the creator makes something powerful and then loses control of it.
That's every handler's story.
They create a public figure, or amplify one, or excuse one, or market one, or protect one.
Then when the person becomes destructive, they say, how could this happen?
You build it.
You fed it.
You defended it.
You gave it talking points.
You normalized the behavior.
You sold the tickets.
You made the monster feel righteous.
And that might be the worst part.
What?
When reckless people feel righteous, they stop hearing warnings.
Yes, that's true.
Because in their mind, criticism becomes persecution. Accountability becomes betrayal. Truth becomes an attack.
And then the handlers are stuck.
They can't correct the person without becoming the enemy.
So they soften.
They minimize.
They excuse.
They wait.
They hope.
And hope is not a strategy. Hope is what you do when the strategy ran away wearing sunglasses.
That's funny.
and thanks. It's a tragic tragedy with rhythm.
Eventually, the handled person may start handling the handlers.
That's the full reversal.
They learn which people are afraid. They learn who needs access. They learn who depends on them financially. They learn who wants power. They learn who wants fame. And they learn who wants protection.
And then they squeeze.
They say, if you don't defend me, I'll attack you.
Or, if you don't protect me, I'll expose you.
Or, if you don't follow me, my audience will turn on you.
That's when the handler becomes the handled.
That's the boomerang.
That's poetic justice with a migraine.
The person who was supposed to be controlled becomes the controller.
Because manipulation co-creates manipulation.
Exactly.
You teach a person to use fear, And one day they use fear on you.
You teach them to attack critics, and one day you become the critic.
You teach them to bend the truth, and one day they bend it around your neck.
That's dark.
Well, truth often begins in the dark now.
And this is why ethical influence matters.
I agree. If your whole strategy is manipulation, don't be shocked when someone more shameless uses it better than you.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
You cannot build a culture on dishonesty and then complain nobody tells the truth.
Ow. We also have to talk about the audience.
We do.
Because the handled person doesn't gain power alone.
That's correct. And unhandleable persons need applause the way a raccoon needs garbage.
That's pretty vivid.
Just trying to paint a picture.
The audience rewards behavior.
Clicks are applause. Shares are applause. Donations are applause. Ratings are applause. Standing ovations are applause. Even outrage can be applause if it keeps attention flowing.
That's important.
The handled person learns from the crowd.
If cruelty gets laughs, they get crueler. If lies get loyalty, they lie more. If drama gets attention, they create drama. And if fear gets donations, they manufacture fear.
And then everybody says, why are they like this?
Because it worked.
Yeah, I agree. Stop feeding the bear and acting surprised when the bear keeps visiting.
So the audience has a role in accountability.
Indeed, it does. The audience has to stop confusing entertainment with leadership.
That's a major sentence.
Entertainment is not leadership.
Charisma is not character.
Confidence is not competence.
And volume is not truth.
Outrage is not courage.
Popularity is not wisdom.
And being uncontrolled is not the same as being free.
That's the heart of the episode.
Indeed. Put it on a mug.
We should. This episode is sponsored by the Emergency Handler Starter Kit.
When your client, your candidate, your CEO, your pastor, your priest, your imam, your rabbi, your CEO, your superstar, your influencer, or your cousin has gone completely off script.
Each kit includes 1 prepared statement, 3 bottles of antacid, a fake smile, a laminated card that says no comment, and a comfortable chair for the emergency meeting.
Now, the premium version includes a time machine so you can go back and not enable the person in the first place.
Order now and receive our bonus booklet. Maybe don't give the flamethrower to the guy who loves fire.
Chapter 1. What did you think was going to happen?
Chapter 2. Applause is not a moral compass.
Chapter 3. Stop calling chaos energy.
The Emergency Handler Starter Kit for when your strategy becomes a hostage situation.
Available wherever bad decisions are made in conference rooms. Now, back to the show.
Now, this is where we need some empathy. Not everyone who protects the handled person is corrupt.
That's true.
Some are afraid, some are loyal, some are confused, some think they can help, some believe leaving would make things worse.
And some are trapped by what they already defended.
Yes.
That's the slow trap.
At first you defend one small thing.
Not a big deal.
Then another.
Just take it out of context.
Then another.
Well, my grandkids would say, everybody does it.
And then.
You don't understand the bigger picture.
And eventually you defend so much that telling the truth feels like betraying your own past.
That's how people become prisoners of their previous excuses.
Exactly.
And that's why early honesty matters.
Because the longer we wait, the more expensive the truth becomes.
And truth charges interest.
That's good.
Yeah, truth is patient. It waits, but it doesn't forgive the bill.
So, what should good people do when they realize that the handled person is out of control?
First, stop lying for them.
That's simple.
Not easy, but simple.
Second,
Stop translating bad behavior into noble language.
give examples.
Don't call cruelty strength. Don't call lying strategy. Don't call recklessness authenticity. Don't call chaos energy. Don't call fear leadership.
And third,
Tell the truth before the damage becomes your biography, your biology, and your bibliography.
there's also a moment when handlers need to walk away.
Yep,
That can be hard.
it should be hard, but hard is not the same as wrong.
When should they walk away?
When the person refuses to be corrected,
Yes.
or when they punish honesty,
Yes, again.
or when they use loyalty as a leash,
That's a big one.
when they demand protection but reject accountability.
That's an eye opener.
How about when their success requires your silence?
That one hits hard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it should.
When their success requires your silence.
That's when you're not part of a team anymore. You're part of a cover up.
And a walking away may cost you.
Truth usually does.
You may lose access, money, status, relationships.
But if you stay too long, you may lose yourself.
That's the real cost right there.
I'm in agreement with you. The handler who cannot walk away becomes the handled.
And that's the circle.
And it closes quietly at first
Then loudly.
with attorneys
And press conferences.
and someone saying, "We are disappointed."
Which means furious.
Always.
Here's where we land. A society has to be careful about who it rewards, because when we reward the loudest voice, the cruelest insult, the biggest lie, the sharpest manipulation, the most reckless performance, or the most shameless person in the room, we should not be shocked when the behavior grows. People do more of what works, organizations do more of what pays, leaders do more of what gets applause, and handlers will keep trying to manage the consequences of things they should have challenged at the beginning.
Now, that is what you call a real lesson, Dave.
The real question is not just, can the handlers handle the handled? The better question is, why did they choose someone who needed that much handling in the first place?
I got applause on that. Ba-bam, ba-bam.
Because character matters before the crisis.
Uh-huh.
Truth matters before the scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Accountability matters before the damage.
Go right ahead, my man. Teach.
And integrity matters before the person gets power.
Especially before.
Once someone has power, correcting them becomes harder.
That's why you don't hand a toddler a chainsaw and then ask to form a committee.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, we were waiting for that one.
You did.
Growth.
So what happens when the handlers can't handle the handled? The excuses get louder. The cleanup gets longer. The truth gets smaller. The audience gets manipulated. The handlers become trapped. And eventually the person they thought they were controlling starts controlling them.
And then right there, that's when everybody pretends they didn't see it coming.
But they
They didn't
did.
smell it. They didn't smell it. They didn't feel it. They didn't hear it.
But they did, Daniel. They did.
They saw the warning signs. You're right. They just called them ratings
Or loyalty.
or strategy.
Or authenticity. The challenge for all of us is to stop rewarding the unaccountable just because they entertain us.
Stop mistaking chaos for courage.
Stop mistaking volume for truth.
Stop mistaking, ladies and gentlemen, a lack of restraint for authenticity.
Stop allowing people to build power by breaking trust.
Because one day, someday, the handlers won't be able to handle the handled.
And the rest of us will be left handling the consequences. This has been Truthful Manipulation Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Daniel.
Tell the truth.
Keep your humor.
Watch the handlers.
Watch the handled.
And for the love of common sense,
stop giving flamethrowers to people who think smoke is branding.
That's been this week's episode of Truthful Manipulation. You can comment on this week's episode at truthfulmanipulation@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at truthfulmanipulation.com. Pick up a copy of our book, Truthful Manipulation, A Roadmap to Live By. It's available on Amazon Books. And we're proud to announce that we've made the top 20 in manipulation podcasts. So pass this on to somebody that you think might be a benefit from it. And thank you for listening this week.